Welcome into In the Huddle with John Ritchie. I'm Sam Stafford. Let's get right into it. John, the Birds have moved to 10-1 after a high-scoring game against the Packers on Sunday Night Football. It's been a few weeks since we've seen that elite team that we saw in the beginning of the season. Do you have any concerns about the team that we're seeing right now?
I have a few, and I don't know if this is just me being nitpicky. Of course, it sounds crazy to start with coverage units. Special teams coverage units. I think they're going to be an issue at some point. In some game when we least expect it. Uh, I can't believe how good the Packers were able to return kickoffs. How well they were able to return kickoffs against us, like 40-yard line, 50-yard line. That short field really made that game a lot closer than it should have been, and that's going to be a problem against good teams. I don't know exactly how you improve that part of things. I don't know if it means putting starting defensive players on your kickoff coverage unit. I think that could help. I think some additional size could help. Some of the guys we have running down, their backup defensive backs, backup cornerback, backup safety, maybe some extra size. I think more often than not, though, like coverage units are about attitude and toughness and how bad you want it. So it's possible that this is something that Michael Clay, the special teams coordinator, can just get a little more aggressive with his approach to coaching, and get after guys, start calling guys out for not being tough enough, for not being strong enough, for not shedding blocks well enough. So that's a concern. I'm also concerned with our pass protection when it's just standard drop back pass protection. I feel like too often when we're in a 2 minute at the end of a half, Jalen Hurts is flushed out of the pocket. When our offensive linemen, especially the left side of our offensive line, meaning Landon Dickerson and Jordan Mailata, when they're asked to kick step and pass set and sort of retreat while blocking and punching, they're not as good at that. We're really great at firing out with the RPO stuff, and everything looks like a run, and then Jalen ends up passing it, or it's a play action. Jalen ends up passing it. When we're standard drop back mode, the pass pro is suspect at times. So again, sort of nitpicking, but it is a concern. And lastly, I don't think that our run defense against the Packers was anywhere close to as good as I thought it had improved to the week before against the Colts. The Packers, A.J. Dillon had 8 carries against us. He averaged, I think, like 8 yards per 8 carries against us. That's too much. And Aaron Jones only had 12 carries against us. I feel like if that game script had been different and the Packers had been able to run the ball more often, they only ran 49 plays because just the way the game unfolded. I think we still should be worried about our ability to stop the run, especially when you're talking about facing Derrick Henry this week. That's pretty scary.
I was just going to say that's not a good thing to hear with Derrick Henry coming into town. But before we get to that, real quick, you did mention that maybe helping on special teams, bringing in some of the starters from the defense and bringing in some of that size. I'm just curious, how would that affect, do you think, the play of the defense itself then? Because if it was something where it wouldn't affect them at all, you would probably see that more often and be more of a common thing. So, what are some like the side effects, if you will, that we would see on defense if that had to happen?
Yeah, well, guys may be less focused on either special teams or their starting role. I think that's why you don't see more of it. That's why you've got core special teamers who devote themselves to that part of things. Part of the problem is we're down our slot cornerback, Avante Maddox, being out. Now we're down C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So you've got Reed Blankenship, who was a core special teamer, playing more snaps, on flat out defense. I do think that can tire guys out, and it can affect their level of intensity and commitment at times. I just I know something's got to change with the way we cover kicks. And I sometimes it really is just as simple as who wants it the worst. So maybe this requires benching some of the special teamers, saying, "All right, we have you up on our game day roster to cover kicks and to be a special teams guru. You're not doing a good enough job. We're going to bring this other guy up from the practice squad and see if he values this opportunity more than you do." I think it's going to take some tough coaching, some of that tough love approach, because it has to be better. It has been miserable, and this is not just a 1 week outlier. It's been consistently bad this season.
Yeah, and this is the time of year you got the Giants coming up twice. You got the Cowboys. It's really getting crucial in there, so some changes need to be made there. But they do have the Titans in town this Sunday, like you mentioned. Tennessee's scary good. They're like 7-4 this season. So
Yeah.
how do you see this game going on Sunday?
I'm worried. I'm worried about this game, and I'm not. I'm not saying that the Eagles aren't a great team. I think they're a great team, and I love the way that things are going. I am worried about being banged up in the secondary. I'm worried about the way we stop the run. And the first week we had Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph in there, it was like, wow, miracle of miracles.
Yeah.
We got guys holding their gaps, and the Colts can't run it against us, and that's Jonathan Taylor. What an amazing job. And then, last week it wasn't as sound. And now all of a sudden we're going up against a team in the Tennessee Titans who have a former, I mean, just for lack of a better word, a badass in the NFL, Mike Vrabel. I've always been a huge fan of Mike Vrabel. We were in the Big 33 game the same year together. He was Ohio. I was Pennsylvania. He went to Ohio State. I went to Michigan.
Oh man.
I tried to block him quite a few times in the NFL. I had to try to block him when he was a member of the Patriots. He is really tough. Really, his mindset is perfect for a football player, and now for a football coach. And that team sort of molds itself in his image. They get after people. Yeah, their defense hasn't allowed more than 20 points in the last 8 weeks. They want to hurt you on the defense. They want to hurt you with their defense. They want to hurt you with their offense. Derrick Henry is gigantic, and he runs like a wide receiver out there. And they have blocking schemes that just take advantage of our weaknesses, which is we're a smaller defense. We're smallish. And I worry that we can't hold up against nasty power run, gap schemes. And this is not a great matchup for the Philadelphia Eagles. This game scares me. I expect it to be close. I don't feel great about it.
Do you have a feeling which team is going to win here, or you're not even sure on that one?
I have a feeling that the Eagles are going to lose a couple games in the remaining part of the season, and this could be one of them.
I agree with you there.
It would be, like 20-19. We lose by a point, a heartbreaker, a grinded out close loss. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't like the way things match up.
I agree with you there. I think they have like 7 games left, and I could see them losing 3. Obviously, don't want that to happen, but this could be one of those on the fence games. Before we wrap up, John, Thursday night football, it's an AFC East battle. We got Buffalo in New England. What do you have on that matchup?
You know, Buffalo's the better team. New England has been amazing
All of
defensively.
a sudden, too, really.
They're generating all sorts of pressure. They're really smart, and that's sort of their hallmark. And they'll try to take away what Buffalo does best, but Buffalo does a lot of things great. And the only hope New England has, if you ask me, is right now Josh Allen. Just we know his elbow is injured. He's not been quite as accurate, and you just know that Bill Belichick's telling his guys, "Hey, we can grab a couple of these balls out of the air." He's going to be a little bit off, and we need to capitalize. We need to grab a pick and run it back because it's going to be hard to score on that Buffalo defense. But I still think Buffalo wins this one, and I don't think it's particularly close. I think they probably win comfortably, like 27-20.
I like it. I agree with you on that one as well. That's all we have for In the Huddle with John Ritchie ahead of week 13 of the NFL season. You can listen to John Monday through Friday from 10 to 2 on 94.1 WIP. And make sure you check out the Bet Parks app and all our social media platforms. We'll huddle again next week.